Hi, my name is Warren Meadows, and this is my midterm paper. After the Emancipation Act of 1863, African Americans in the Deep South cultivated arguably the most influential genre of music of all time. The sound known as the blues gained popularity in the Deep South, specifically in the Mississippi Delta. The blues then spread to the northern USA and eventually the rest of the world. Some may not know, but genres known as rock and roll, R&B, gospel, and many others all have roots in the blues. From the days of slavery to the popular sound of Chicago blues, the blues is easily the most influential genre of music in American history. The earliest known roots of the blues started in the days of slavery. While African Americans worked in the fields during the long work hours, many slaves participated in singing in a call and response style of song. This technique of call and response would not only be prevalent in early American blues, but also many other genres years later. The use of call and response can be observed in genres such as gospel, rock and roll, and even hip hop. These work song singing slaves were unknowingly laying the foundation down for the most influential genre of music of all time. While the work songs of the slaves laid the foundation for the blues, another form of the blues would take the genre to another level. The style known as Delta blues became popular due to artists such as Son House, Charlie Patton, and Robert Johnson. The Delta blues was a more expressive style of blues, sharing the pain of the artist with the listener. The recordings were mostly singers and their guitars in the early days of Delta blues. Although the Delta blues period was a relatively simple time in the history of blues music, it was also extremely influential due to artists like Robert Johnson, whose songs have been covered by artists such as Eric Clapton, The Grateful Dead, and Led Zeppelin. Known as the master of the Delta blues, Robert Johnson had a short but extremely influential career. Johnson played mostly as a traveling performer, making street corners and juke joints his stage. He participated in only two known recording sessions, one in 1936 and one in 1937. Those recording sessions produce a collection of 29 songs that have been studied and admired for generations to come. Many of Johnson's personal life is poorly documented, and this leaves historians and researchers to feed into the legends surrounding him. It has been said that Robert Johnson once sold his soul to the devil to gain the talent to play the guitar so well. Whether one chooses to believe the stories or not is a personal choice, but what can be stated as fact is that Robert Johnson is the king of the blues and one of the forefathers of rock and roll. Although the Delta blues style certainly made its mark on American music culture, the style known as Chicago blues took the sound to new heights. While Delta blues would primarily feature one artist, Chicago blues featured artists joining together into groups and replacing acoustic guitars with electric ones. The Chicago blues style also combined swing jazz and boogie-woogie piano with the soul of Delta blues. Some of the artists who were at the forefront of the Chicago blues sound included Muddy Waters, Little Walter, and Howlin' Wolf. These artists greatly influenced other musicians who came after them, such as Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, Jimi Hendrix, Alabama 3, and Redman. McKinley Morganfield, better known as Buddy Waters, is often regarded as the father of modern Chicago blues. Waters began his career touring the Delta with Big Joe Williams before recording his first records in 1941 and 1942. After hearing himself on the records, Waters decided to move from the South to Chicago to pursue the dream of becoming a full-time musician. By 1944, Waters made his way to Chicago, swapped out his acoustic guitar for an electric one, and by 1948, Muddy Waters had a hit song with the song Rolling Stone. Along with bandmate Little Walter, Waters became one of the most well-known and well-respected blues musicians in history. Some musicians who were influenced by him include AC/DC, Jeff Beck, and ZZ Top. From the days of slavery to the popular sound of Chicago blues, the blues is easily the most influential genre in American history, providing an outlet for African American artists to express their plight while simultaneously influencing countless musical acts is enough evidence to prove how important blues music is not only to lovers of good music, but to American history. Artists such as Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters have been admired and paid homage to for generations. Blues music's influence can be seen and heard not only in the music of today, but also in pop culture in general. That concludes the paper. I hope you have a great day.